Hear you.
We can
Thank you.
hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
The game button. You're welcome. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Julio, would you do the roll call, please? Sure, Mr. Stein. Here. Mr. Stein, Mr. Studo. Present. Mr. Studo, President, Ms. White.
Hey, can I interrupt you for a second? I don't know if Robert is seeing this, but I'm seeing a big screen right now of like the polls.
Yeah, I just, Meg, you go up to the thumbnails, you can switch back to the, I was seeing
Okay.
that you could switch back to the actual, table.
Okay, let me try.
Mr. Prince. Here, Mr. Prince. Yep.
Present.
Stop.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, can we get approval of the meeting minutes from last meeting?
Make motion?
Second. Second, Bill, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, bills and communications, we have a revised.
Yes, we added one item, and I handed that out this morning. So we now have 8 total payments in the amount of $48,007.03. You'll see that the middle section of bills approved since the last meeting is longer than usual, and that's because this meeting is late, and we had a few things that we needed to get out the door before the 16th.
I'll make a motion.
All right, I got a second, Carol. All in favor?
Aye.
Staff report.
They're figuring there.
Anybody's read this or? Anything you want to report, Jen?
I have no updates for the staff report.
We don't really need a motion to accept this.
No.
Quarterly financial.
So that's in your packet as well. I'd be happy to walk through it. There's nothing very remarkable on there. There are a couple new sheets. So we always include the balance sheet and the P&L. And the third sheet is a list of all our capital assets. That's our leased equipment and food of building, and then the little bit of office equipment that we own. So that's just for your information. And the fourth page is our loan status page, so you can see how many loans we have and what their current balances are. So if anyone has questions or would like me to go through any particular parts of it, please let me know.
Thank you. Very well presented. And for the loans, but list of the revolving loans and. Okay. Yes, we should, this should be accepted with a motion. No, it's just for our information. Okay, new business. First resolution is one extending the tax abatement period for the Ford Corporate Realty Program. That's the ski slope, right?
Yes.
Probably amount of here.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Howard and
They're really working pretty diligently down
they're spending a lot of. It's great.
Yeah, it is. That means promoting well.
there. Where's he doing all that? What's all that bill going from that mountain on the back? Where's that going?
I think he's using that for his tubing. They're expanding their tubing. operation. One cool thing I've noticed is that most of my friends who are going to Mount Peter, Plattekill, they're all buying season passes here because he really has done so much. It's very promising. So it's sort of neat to keep it here instead of.
Yeah,
Sure is.
right.
Did Bill second that?
Bill seconded it and it was unanimously carried. Second resolution. Authorizing the execution of an amended restated master development agreement with the agency, for the EPR program, EPR project. This is the former Concord Hotel property on October 21st of 2013. Somebody say it, time flies. We entered into an agreement with EPR as a master developer of the site. During the period of time that they have been a master developer, there has been the sale of a project site to the hospital next to Dunkin' Donuts. And then there have been 4 other transfers of property to developers from the master developer. One for the casino, one for the Cartwright Water Park, one for the new Monster Golf Course, and one for the Alder Hotel. The master developer designation expires unless extended on October 21st of 2013. This would extend their master developer status for 5 years and a few days to Halloween of 2028. And there's no apparent downside. This will give them an opportunity that there'll be other opportunities to develop there to do more projects. Projects that they have created are paying millions of dollars of pilot payments. And in all cases, as far as I know, timely paying.
The 4 great projects.
Could be.
Golf course, that's what-
I should probably also mention that Phil and Paul, as representatives of the agency, took time out of their day and met with the asset manager from EPR. And of course, they would like to have the master developer status extended for the next 100 years. But based on that meeting, is it appropriate to say that you and Paul believe 5 years is the right time? Yes.
You need a motion?
Yeah, I will need a resolution. Motion by Sean, second.
Second.
Kathleen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next resolution authorizing an amendment to the elderly development program. That's just extending the Adelard resolution relates only to one of the 4 pieces I mentioned that came out of the master development project area, and it's the Cartwright Hotel. They requested by letter back in March an extension of the pilot payment period for 5 years based upon the fact that the state of New York, through various executive orders, shut them down.
How long were they shut down for?
They were closed from March of 2020 through July of 2021. They could have reopened at a percentage of occupancy in May of 2021, but it's not practical for a water park because whether there's 1 person or 1,000 people in the water park, they still have to have the same number, somewhere around 30 lifeguards. So for them to reopen at 25% of capacity made no sense. They reopened actually, I believe, on the very first day that the capacity limitations were lifted by New York State, which was July 1st of 2021.
So it's a year and a half?
Yes,
They were busy the day we went there.
Right.
they were mobbed the day we went there.
So should we go 2 years?
That actually,
Based on-
the recommendation that's been made by the committee appointed to meet with them is to extend it for 2 years.
Oh, wow. Not on that committee. Makes sense.
But
But minds think alike.
But Mr. Malone's on that committee.
Yes, sir.
All
I was
right,
impressed with how busy they were that day.
good,
So is that a motion, Helen?
yeah.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, the next resolution is an amendment to the Montreal Operating Company Program. And the Montreal is the Resort World Casino project. By their letter of June 7, 2023, for the same reasons, and their letter is somewhat specific in terms of the timeframes. They were also closed by executive order. And in March of 2020, they were able to reopen at a 25% capacity limit in September of 2020, but they had to spend millions of dollars on new ventilation systems. And I don't know if anybody was there during COVID, but they had these like plexiglass walls between the dealer and the 3 players on the 6-person blackjack tables. They went to 50% occupancy on May of 2021. They didn't reopen, and it was their choice, their indoor dining venues, because even though they were allowed to, because of the way they lay out there, they didn't think they could maintain the 6-foot separation distance. It was still in effect. So they didn't reopen until June 15th of 2021 at any meaningful level. And the committee, they have asked for a 3-year extension. The same committee has proposed a 2-year extension.
I'll make that same motion.
I got a second. Sean. Those in favor?
Next resolution. Original extension of mortgage modification agreement.
This-
Ashley Road.
Yep, this is the this is the property on Route 17B that had like the statue at the end of the driveway of the guy holding up the pizza burger. It's, I guess, sort of a concert venue campground project. There was a mortgage the IDA joined in the execution of to authorize recording the mortgage without payment of mortgage recording tax, $325,000. The mortgage is due October 31. The borrower has requested and the lender has agreed to extend the maturity date for 6 months. And to do that, since IDA is a party to the mortgage, they would have to sign the mortgage modification agreement. I don't know if there are any other questions. It seems very straightforward.
No, we can't. We really need to, right? If the bank and we have agreed,
The borrower has requested and the bank has agreed to extend it.
so that then it's just more
Yeah.
functional.
And
We need a motion for that.
Bill was making a vote.
Can I get a second? You're very hysterical. You just don't believe it. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. The budget.
I only had one comment on the budget. I don't know if this is the time, but I'm in the process of trying to wind down my law practice and had suggested to Susie, who's on, that next year I act as co-general counsel for somebody else for a year so that we get somebody else ready to take over, although anybody could take over, it's not a big deal, but
Oh, come on now.
Susie,
So about a blind squirrel.
yeah, so I think you should consider and have considered increasing legal. I just wanted to make sure that my retainer is $250 a month. I'm not sure that somebody else is gonna want to work for that. Up to them.
So where do we start? We're gonna have to find somebody. Well, we have to prepare a budget for it. We gotta just come up with a number.
So we can increase, we've included $50,000 in the budget for 2024. That's also with an eye toward litigation that we're dealing with.
I think
We're
we-
gonna
I
have,
think
so
we
maybe
should
we should
double
look
that.
more.
I think we
should
should,
double that for 2.
we're gonna go into executive session for the second reason at the end of the meeting. Let's not.
Oh, that's, yeah, but that wasn't, I just think that we can bet it over, number one, below an expensive. It's an unknown, and we need to find the right person. Otherwise, we're gonna be finding a lot of right people.
I
If they can work with the person who's been doing it, it's more value to us because then they can bounce off of each other and it's a more smooth transition.
How long have you been here?
I got here the same day Ed did, let's see, 27 years,
Almost 28.
27 years, 10 months and, or 9 months and 4 days.
And how many times in the 27 years have we got into trouble? I think that it's gonna be hard to really need somebody to really take anything for legacy purpose.
Well, if I had gotten a cost of living increase, I would be making a lot of money now, but I'm still at $250, which is what we agreed to 27 plus years ago, so. I just think that number needs to be 100, not 50.
It doesn't matter, we're not gonna overspend it.
Right.
It's a budget item. In other words, we're less than expenses now. We're not wasting money.
Does anyone have any questions? So I'll make that change. Does anyone have any other questions about the budget?
So you're
I
saying
mean,
that we're,
again, these are things for the board, but you proposed 2024 salary levels for all staff members of the IDA at 2023 salaries. And no increases at all. Yeah, that doesn't.
So we haven't done our annual reviews and we haven't done that yet. So I mean, you could change that now, or the other reality is that we don't have a cumbersome budget modification process. And so
We could have addressed it that way. John, what should we do? Okay.
whatever the board prefers.
yeah, let's do it then. I agree with you from that perspective. We're gonna do something. So we can either close our eyes, you know, and with the door, or we can wait.
My only opinion.
Great response. Perfect.
Now, this budget, we have to adopt this. So, any other comments? from anybody?
We can adopt it with those two
With those-
stipulations.
And adopt it as amended by changing the legal line item from 50 to 100.
Yeah, I don't think we can stipulate the other.
Who's making that motion? I'll make it, or Phil make it. That'll make
That'll
it.
soften it. All those in favor?
Hi.
All right, let's see. Public comment, no?
Yeah, we're gonna have public comment from Mega and Robert. The background is at a meeting 2 months ago, the agency voted to terminate its involvement with the Fuel One project as a result of the project defaulting on its obligation to post financial security for its pilot payments, and then defaulted on the accommodation made by the agency, which was to allow them to pay into an escrow account. I communicated that to Mega and Robert, who are counsel to go one on the Canara Bank and United Bank of India foreclosure. I see Ed smiling when I say Canara Bank. He was at the closing. We went down at 10. It said we'd be out by 11. They were absolutely right. We left at 10:45 that night. So I suspect that they want to try to give us reasons why the agency shouldn't terminate the project, but they asked to address the board today, and they're here on Zoom to do that.
Okay, you're up.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Walter. Thank you, everyone. You know, and I appreciate that you let us participate through Zoom, especially since today's a tax filing day, so we're just distracted with clients. And yes, we don't have any, We don't have any excuses. I don't want, you all know what's been going on. And I think this is something that was not in the plans. Dr. Subhash Chandra, I think, had very, very visionary ideas of what he was going to do with this. And unfortunately, his concept of a vegetarian, no alcohol place at this large scale, run in this country by people who are not experienced as they should have been in how to market and run this. And I know there've been a lot of changes there. I know most of the people who have run it, and I know all the issues that have gone on here. So I'm not here to make any excuses to you or anything like that. I just really what I want to do is just convey to you that we have been talking to Dr. Chandra and his team in India on a regular basis, and they are very, very keen on making this work. And I'm happy to go into that in a few minutes. I just wanted Rob to have a chance to say hi as well.
To the board, thank you very much for allowing us to meet with you and giving us the consideration to do so virtually. It frees up a lot of time in our respective schedules. And first and foremost, I want to apologize on behalf of YO1. I don't know specifically who, other than Walter, because my communications largely were with Walter on this subject, has been dealing with upper management on these outstanding issues. And I'm sorry for your frustration. And quite frankly, I feel that. It's unacceptable. And clearly an open line of communication needs to occur. If someone was going to be late, the simplest thing to do is obviously just pick up the phone call and advise, as opposed to just let this thing string on and on and on. Yes, the client is paid in full. Not on time with October yet, but Mega will touch on that, and that payment will be forthcoming. My understanding, having spoken with Walter at length on this, is that the major concern moving forward is if YO1 and its holding entities file for bankruptcy, what then happens? Right now, IDA is not secure with payments. And the way I understand from IDA's perspective is, and I could be wrong, is that the way to secure payments for the respective counties and taxing authorities involved would be to terminate the agreement and to levy the real estate taxes that otherwise would be assessed on the property, but for this pirate agreement. Is my understanding correct with that?
The reason that the IDA original pilot agreement contemplated security by a third party is that if you get a letter of credit at JP Morgan Chase and you go bankrupt, JP Morgan Chase hasn't gone bankrupt, we still have a letter of credit.
Of course.
Where we're holding your money in an escrow account until that money is applied to a pilot payment, it's still your money.
Okay, so I think
Okay.
I'd like to, yeah. Did you want to respond on that, Rob?
Well,
or-
no, Walter, I appreciate that, the clarification. By the way, are we in executive, is there an executive session or is this open board
If
meeting
you
going
want to
on?
go into executive session, that's up to you.
Uh,
There's nobody from the public here, but you're
No,
speaking to the free world.
No,
So I just wanted to clarify something. I don't believe we have Canada Bank attorneys here or any other of the attorneys involved in the foreclosure, correct?
No,
Okay. So
but watch this tape, it's going to be on the internet and they can,
yeah.
So
No,
wait.
absolutely.
in session, tell us.
So no, I think
Would be a good idea to go in executive session.
Because once this is memorialized on YouTube or however it goes, it's in the public domain.
yeah, I think it's better we go into an executive session just so that we can speak more frankly and openly.
yes, if the board would entertain that.
But how do we do that if we're on?
Yeah, Walter, I think you have to state the legal reason for going in, which I think
Yeah,
we can,
sure.
but we have to put that in the record.
They're asking a tech question, not a legal question.
Oh, okay.
Do that, right? We stop the live stream, we stop the, we
It
stop
just
the
can't
recording, we
stop
just
it.
Okay, we